afternoon, gentlemen, to each and every one of you. We're going to talk a little bit about fashion and style. And I say to you, pay attention to this portion because it's going to be very critical that you learn some of these key elements, because these tools and techniques that I will teach you today that will give you actually an opportunity to stand above the rest. I'll be honest with you, don't nobody I know of want a lazy man. You know, when you ask for help, they look at you crazy. Yeah, don't nobody want a lazy man. Most of those will be the ones sitting on the side of the sidewalk, because it's important for you in all things be leaders. Repeat after me. In all things. Now y'all ready. In all things. Be leaders. The reason why we're doing this type of development, and you guys are separated from the ladies for this university, to give you guys an opportunity to train you separately before you interact with the female, to make you prepared as a man of integrity, excellence, and ingenuity, to go beyond the call of duty. You don't go beyond the call of duty and just be average, then you just live. But there are a lot of people that live in this world, but they don't ever learn how to live their life to the fullest. They just live. You want to live your life to the fullest and take every opportunity, every dream that's in you, you want that dream to become a reality. There's no way I would live in this world, attend Fort Valley State University, and do not dream and go beyond my means and believe that my dream and my aspiration will just fall in my lap. Nothing will fall in your lap. You got to work for it in order to make it happen. And sometimes you got to double work for it in order to make it happen. So we're going to start with our slide presentation, and I'll try to walk you through this. This is the Perfect Gentleman Academy. These tools that we will teach you will give you all the skills and tools you need in order to be successful. First thing we talk about, be a man. Take your destiny in your own hand. Take your destiny, take your life in your own hands. First impressions are lasting. First impressions are very important. One of the things you're going to have to realize, the person that's to your left and to your right may not be here when you graduate, because they didn't stay focused the whole time through. There's some going to have a good time this semester and end up flunking out because they couldn't stay focused. But you have to make up in your mind, I want to stay focused. Number one, you look at your background, where you come from. Do I want to be as my parents are, or do I want to be better? You want to be better, you got to work to be better. You have to strive to be better. You have to prepare yourself in order to be better. And the only way to do that is do common things uncommonly well and go beyond common things. And look okay. But the main thing that they miss, and the main detail they miss, is the execution. You can put on a shirt and a pair of pants, but if your pants are slouching, you got about 50 things in your pocket, and your shirt is hanging all outside of your pants, but you got a belt on, you still look crazy. It's nice what you got on, but there is execution. It's very critical that you pay attention to detail to set yourself above the rest. Hang on your paper. It says, stop being a copy if God made you an original. Okay? Why die a copy if God made you an original? Be you. Discover you. Discover your life. Explore your world. Do not lock yourself into one thought or idea. That's one of the great things about university and college and education. The longer you're here for Valley, the more you will expose yourself to a larger world out here. That there are more people than what you see in your everyday mode of transportation, your everyday interaction. And one of the things you have to do in college is get beyond your ideas and concepts of how you grew up. I don't know where you come from. Some of you may come from Bel Air, some of you may have come from Don Hood. But you have to get beyond where you've seen or where you've been in order to explore your world, to get to who you are so you can own it and define yourself. Your career in college. Decision. Your first decision is, what is your destination? What are my goals? Where am I trying to go? What is the destination? Number two, make your mark in the world. Go get it, nothing is free. Make your mark in the world. You have to go get it, because nothing in life is what? Free. Imagery style is everything. Sharpening. Image and style is everything. You have to sharpen it because that's how people perceive you, that's how people view you, that's how people will say whether or not you're cool or not cool, whether or not we should let them in or we should not. They base it really, truly off of what they see. One of the things that I have learned, I began to travel and go to different places, and in this new business of mine, everything is very much so image conscious. I know when I was in LA is all about image. One of the things I did discover in LA has one of the most, to me, the most beautiful women in the world who looks like they stepped out of a Barbie doll box because they're just gorgeous from head to toe. And that's why I can kind of understand why some of those celebrities pay that much money to keep their wives looking a certain way, because when you get out there, it's fake as all get out, but they find it's all nature is. So that's an interesting thing. But when I get to Atlanta, it's a whole other world. It's ghetto beauty. I mean, it's beauty, but it's ghetto beauty. So image is everything. That's how you get your foot in. Number two, we talk about season of change. Now we're getting into styling and fashion. Season of change. How many seasons do we have? 4. And those seasons are spring, summer, winter, fall. What season are we in now? We're in the fall. It's not fall yet. We're still in summer. We're moving into fall, but we're still in summer. So it is critical that you understand your seasons. One of the things you learn as a man, and many times you wasn't taught as a young man growing up, because they teach you, and I've heard it too as a child, that men don't need to know about season or whatever. You just throw on something, there you go. Today we talk about excellence. This is attention to detail that give birth to excellent performance. It is very critical that you do know your seasons, that you do know winter from summer, spring from fall. If you know those seasons, you know what to wear and how to adapt. Then it also tells me that you are a man who pays attention to detail because you know your seasons. So it's critical that you know that. Now that you know that we're in the summer season, one of the things that you should do, because it's summer, I've always said this, it's summer, so your cologne should change. There's a certain cologne you wear in the summer and the spring versus a certain cologne that you will wear in the winter and the fall. And you can probably eat anything, drink anything, you don't gain any weight. And there's other you, as soon as you see something, you start blowing up like a fish. So you want to make sure that you exercise and you drink plenty of water, that you keep your weight down. There should be no reason you be walking around here and you 300 or 400 some pounds. You a house that's getting ready to be a side of a warehouse. That is crazy. You have to take, everybody say this again with me, because the critical is this, you to learn this. Take care of you. Repeat again, take care of you. We don't hear that many times in African American men to take care of ourselves, but you have to take care of you. I had to lose weight myself when I left Fort Valley and I went for an interview. And this wasn't what we call traditional interview. This was a go-see. This was for some of the other things, projects that I'm working on. And at that time, I was somewhere between 34, 35 weights. And, you know, they said to me, you're excellent, you're good, you're talented, but you're too big. When we see you on the camera, and I'm not that big, but when we see you on the camera, we saw your belly, you know. And that time, it did seem like it was a mini bowling ball in front of me. So, as a result, I had to go home. I mean, I cried, of course. But, I mean, I had to go home. I had to get in the gym. And I couldn't do it alone. I had to get a trainer to really get me back down to size. And because of that, I feel better. I can wear a lot of stuff that I really wanted to wear because I had to decide whether or not I'm going to be average or I'm going to go beyond me. I don't believe in whatever age you are, you stop right there and you just let it go. Every day you learn something new. Every day you're striving to be even better, and every day you keep moving. They're going to go crazy around here on week Friday. But invest in quality things. Quality will last longer than quantity. You buy basic stuff. You should at least have 2 pair of black shoes and 2 pair of brown shoes in your closet as you begin to build a wardrobe. I tell the kids that all the time. You should have a black pair of string-ups and a black pair of dress slip-ons. a dark brown pair of string-over slip-ons, and a cognac color, lighter brown. And with those 4 pairs of shoes, you can go for 4 or 5 years if you buy quality. And you polish them and you keep them up. If you say I'm lazy and I don't feel like polishing, that's why you got men who sit at the shoe polish store, the shoe repair store all day, and that's all they do is polish shoes. You take it to them, and they'll polish it enough that those shoes will last at least a month and a half without you adding nothing to it. It is the attention to detail that sets you apart. Don't you be a man that your wife have to iron your clothes, lay your clothes out, and say, honey, that looks good. You're a lazy behind man and your wife have to do that for you. You're a lazy behind man if a woman have to tell you how to dress. Men lead from the front, that's what I said at the beginning. You should be telling her how to put it together. Because she's following after you. If you're going to lead, you got to give her something to follow. If you're not going to lead, then you probably need to get behind her and follow her. But if you're going to lead, then you got to learn the intricate details of life that are going to set you apart. You have to hang around people who dress well. You have to connect with people that dress well. If you hang around people who don't dress well, then you end up not dressing well because they all don't dress well. If you hang around people who really don't have an idea of style, you'll end up being just like they are. And then you have to hang around people that make you reach. You know, you don't want to hang in a group of people that you're the smartest one in the bunch. You want to hang around people that make you reach, make you go beyond your means, make you really say, I got to do something about how I look. One of the things I try to do when I come on campus, I look at people, Mr. King, I want them to look like, am I right? Am I together? Because it's critical. They're the face of this university. If they don't come right, then you'll say, well, I don't need to come right either. Because they're the face. If they get out here bumbling all over their words and can't figure out how to say a speech to you, rocking from side to side and don't know which way to go and looking all over the place and still jiggling their keys in their hand, then you'll figure in your mind, as a man, when I speak to people, and I'm trying to get their attention, I need to wiggle from the side to side and look all over the place because that's what I do. But no, we work with them that they may be the epitome of what style and excellence look like. They have to walk it out. They have to live it. At least for 1 year. But this kind of breaks everything down, how you pass soft, red, clockwise direction. Footnote that whenever you go to dinner with a young lady, as a man, you should never ever sit with your back to the door. You should always sit that your face is facing the door, that you can see everything that comes into whatever restaurant that you're in. You should never sit with your back to the door and she's facing the door. That's a chivalry skill. That's a gentleman skill. You always sit in a position that you can see everything that comes to the door. If there's a thief, it's for this reason. If there's a thief or somebody comes in to attack the store, you as a man can spot it and then protect your girl, your wife, from whoever it is. But if you're sitting at your back is turned, you can't protect nobody because you're sitting in a position really of vulnerability. As a man, men lead from the front. We never sit in positions of vulnerability. We always sit in positions of control. So you always sit facing the door whenever you go into a restaurant. Even when you go to your family, always sit in a position that you can watch the door. Let your woman sit on the other side. She can't see, but you make sure you can always see who's coming in and who's going out of the door. When you go down the aisle of people or aisle of guys, you never turn your back to these people and you go through the aisle looking forward. You always look at people that are in front of you sitting there when you go down this way. You never put your butt literally in their face as you go down the aisle. You always turn, look them in the eye and say, excuse me, as you go down the aisle. That's another gentleman